equal to it. Because if we just did 3/5, if we had a difference of 2 here, we'd get the number 0.6, which would be less than 0.75. So you've got to have this connection where the numerator is only 1 less than the denominator. In this particular, if you're doing the easy ones anyway. So any of those will do. Then we have the next question, which of these fractions is closest to 1? Well, we have 2/3, 6/8, we have 3/7, we have 4/5, and we have 5/4. Well, 6/8 I would know is the same as 3/4. And we know that that one is 0.75. 3/7 is going to be a lot less than 0.75, so I don't even need to work that one out, because it's going to be less than a half. 2/3, I know that 2/3 is 0.6 recurring, 66666, so that's also less than 0.75. 4/5, if I multiply top and bottom by 2, I get 8/10, so we know that 4/5 is 0.8. 5/4, 4's go into 5 one time, 1 left over. 4's go into 10, 2 times, 2 left over. 4's go into 20, 5 times. So which number is closer to 1? 0.8 is only 0.2 from 1, whereas 1.25 is 0.25 away from 1. So the closest one to 1 is 4/5. Then it says which of these fractions will give an answer, or which of these multiplication and divisions with fractions will give the biggest answer. 1/3 divided by 1/2. Oh, we'll write them up as they've written them up, and then we'll change them. 1/3 times 2. 1/2 times 1/3. 1/2 divided by 1/3. And 1/3 divided by 2. And here we have to think a little bit of what we're trying to do. I've told you that the rule when you're multiplying fractions is really easy, because it's just to say 1 times 2 is 2, 3 times 1 is 3. So here we get 2/3, that's a small number. This one as well, really easy. 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 3 is 6. What are we actually doing when we're saying take 1/3 of 1/2? What are we doing? It means we've got a half here, half a pizza, and we're splitting it up into thirds, and we're only taking one of them. I'm only taking this one here. I'm taking 1/3 of 1/2 of my pizza. How much pizza am I getting? I'm only getting 1/6. Okay, so sometimes drawing the fractions help you understand what you're doing when you're multiplying fractions. I'm taking 1/3 of my half a pizza. What am I doing then when I divide with fractions? Well, I'm actually saying I've got 1/3 of a pizza here. I'll show you it mathematically first. The thing with dividing with fractions is you keep the first number the same. Instead of the divide line here, you turn it into a multiply. And remember, you swap these two around, upside down, and then just multiply the fraction. So dividing fractions is almost as easy as multiplying if you remember that rule. 1 times 2 is 2, and 3 times 1 is 3. So I'm getting 2/3. So what you're sort of thinking of doing is, if you're taking 1/3 and you're dividing it into 2, you're splitting that third up into 2 pieces. So you're getting 2/3 instead. What do we do here then? Well, we do the same thing with this one. We get 1/2 divided by 1/3, change the divide to multiply, swap these two over, 3/1. And then look at what we get. 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 1 is 2. So here we get the number 1.5. Whereas 1/3 divided by 2, that's going to be 1/3 multiplied by, this is the same as 2/1. 2 divided by 1. So swap them over again. 1/3 times 1/2 is 1/6. So this is a small number. There's only one that gives you an answer that's greater than 1, it's this one. So there is only one correct answer to that one. It's a half divided by a third. Okay? And it's almost like we're taking our half and splitting it up into different sections of thirds and then counting up the pieces at the end. Then we've got to think of a number somewhere between 2/3 and 4/5. So we have to choose a number that is between 2/3 and 4/5. And we have a number of different possibilities here. We have 0.6, 0.75, 0.9, 1.2, and 1.8. Well, we know that 2/3 is the decimal 0.6 recurring, 0.6666. We know that 4/5 is the decimal 0.8. By dividing 4 divided by 5, you get 0.8. So which of these numbers is between 0.6666 and 0.8? Well, there's only one. This is too small. This is only 0.6, whereas we've got 0.666666, remember, going up. So there's only one number there, so we've got 0.75 on that one. And that was it.
You skip the one before it.
Did I skip one?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. This is a very important one, and I hope that nobody's got that one wrong. This is a basic maths one, understanding fraction. What is the fraction 1/5 as a decimal? To get any fraction into a decimal form, we just divide the top number by the bottom number. In order to do that, let's put some decimals here, okay? So we 5s into 1, top number is sweeties, bottom number is number of kids to eat the sweets, okay? We've got 1 sweet and 5 kids. How many sweets do they all get? 0. And that one gets moved over to the new number. Decimal point in the same place before we move over. 5s into 10 go 2 times. So 1/5 is equivalent to the decimal 0.2. And there was only one answer for that. You had 0.5. Well, 0.5, we know that would have to have a fraction like a half or 2/4 or 3/6 or 4/8. So it can't be a half. 1.5, that would be 3/2 or something like that. 0.05, well that means 5/100ths. So it can't be 1/5. And 0.15 means 15/100ths. So it can't be that one either.